Hi everyone, this is Cynthia, and this will be about the yearly horoscopes for 2022 for all 12 sun signs. Also, if you happen to know your rising sign, make sure to listen to the yearly horoscope for that sign. Now, I do produce weekly horoscopes throughout the year, but save this video for reference throughout the year. So let's get started with the yearly horoscopes for 2022. Okay, for Aries. Now, there's going to be a lot to discuss here, so you might have to find yourself referencing for dates and so forth. So, first, I want to go through the planets and how some of the planets are going to be affecting you. So, one of the main planets that I want to discuss for 2022 is that Uranus will still stay in your second house of earned income throughout the entire year. Now, one of the things that I always kind of give a little warning of for Uranus in the second house is that a lot of times I describe it as it can, yes, give you a sudden big boost financially. Sometimes I've seen it where people get such a huge raise where it's like a $20,000 year difference in their salaries, or maybe even a lot more. So this can bring about a big boost of income, or maybe you change jobs and get a whole new job, and it just brings you more money. The negative is that sometimes I've seen where it brings about a lot of debt. This isn't the debt of, well, I knew I was going to get a new car loan or a home loan, so of course there's going to be debt because I have a new payment. No, this is the type of debt where you're so in debt that your debt is higher than the money you're bringing in. So those are the warnings that I give for Uranus in the second house. The other thing too, if you go to some of these websites where you can create a solar return chart, like astro.com, look for the solar return for that year. And if Uranus is in your second house, yes, like I said, it can bring a big boost of income, but it could also work against you where it can bring a lot of debt. So that's just a little warning. I'm not saying that's going to be something that everyone's going to be going through. It's just the negatives and the positives of Uranus in the second house. So that's going to be going on. Now, one of the other things too is Saturn, and Saturn is currently in your 11th house. Neptune is currently in your 12th house. They're going to still stay there throughout the year. Certain things, yes, they might create a little bit of an issue with these planets. I don't really have a major worry for what I noticed for any of these two planets. So I don't really have too much of a big concern with them. The one that there's two planets I do want to discuss. One of them is Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to be starting back into your 12th house of secrets and solitude on from the beginning of the year all the way through May 10th. So Jupiter in the 12th house is a really good time because it helps you to cleanse and discard and get rid of anything unhealthy that hasn't been working for you. Maybe it's time to take care of any health issues. But starting May 11th, it's going to enter your own sign and house. So the next almost, I think it's like 8 months for the year, it will definitely bring a big boost for you focusing on where you want to be at, what you want to build, if this is a time of a career change or maybe even a new relationship. This time it's going to be about you, where you want to be at, what you want to do. If it's time to go back to school, maybe pursue a new job, a new opportunity, so be it. This is going to be a time where you're going to focus on it's time about me and not about everybody else. So then as we get towards the end of the year, starting around December 21st and into 2023, Jupiter will enter your second house of earned income. Remember, I was saying that Uranus is already in this same house. So that's going to be very interesting. Now, I don't want to put too much out there, but a lot of times when you have Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting together, this can bring some very interesting, positive, interesting financial opportunities that could maybe really surprise you. But to me, I look at it as this could bring about a lot of good energy, a lot of great opportunities. So that's something, but not until the end of the year. So right now, one of the planets I do want to discuss is Mars. So there's going to be a time where Mars will be retrograding later on this year. If you've ever run into a Mars retrograde, it can bring conflict, it can bring disagreements, it can bring about issues, maybe things breaking down and so forth. So Mars is going to be entering your third house starting on um, August 21st, and it'll go into the new year. But between uh, October 30th, 2022 through through January 12th, 2023, Mars will retrograde in the same house. So the only little warning that I want to give is that sometimes it could bring issues with electronics, vehicles, computers. This could be an indication of something breaking down. It could create conflicts, disagreements, maybe you being more harsh, more critical. Not that I want to be negative and saying that it would make you more like a mean person. I don't think so. But this could create a situation where you just feel more direct with people. Be careful that you may drive more carelessly. That could create, it could, maybe you pass the speeding, a red light and you get a ticket, maybe a car accident. So you got to be careful. So this is a time that it can create some issues. Now, one of the time periods that I do like for you will come between, and this is going to be related with finances, will actually come between, let me see. Well, actually, I want to go back. So between July 6th and August 20th, Mars and Uranus are really going to connect well together. So that'll bring about more money, you to make more money, you to pursue to make money. So you might be looking for a job change during that time. So this could be a time where you're pursuing a job or finding new ways to make more money. But I want to mention something very, very big. So we started going through some eclipses in your second house. Throughout this year, there's going to be more eclipses in your second house. Your second house is huge. With Uranus in your second house and Mars going to be passing through your second house, I'm going to give you the dates of the new moon and the full moon eclipses throughout the year. I'm going to give you the ones for just the second house for the year. And those dates are going to actually be April 30th for a new moon eclipse in your second house, and a full moon eclipse in the second house would be November 8th. So, especially when you have Uranus in the second house, I have seen people gain significantly with their finances. Remember, now the full moon can create issues with your finances, but the new moon eclipse, which by the way lasts 6 months, that can bring financial gains and opportunities for you. So this is actually going to be a time where if you're looking to build financial security and stability, I mean, I feel it's there. If you're looking to pursue a business or financial opportunity, you may actually be surprised how much the connections are there to build financial security and stability. It's been a while since I've seen something like this where it is there for you to really gain. This could bring great opportunities. And then remember, like I was saying, later on in the year with Jupiter and Uranus after December 21st and into 2023, that can bring more money and just like a boost of income. So, not saying it's guaranteed. This could be that you have to still pursue those opportunities, or it could be a business venture that you pursue that just maybe really takes off. So I don't want to say anything negative in any way, because these opportunities I think are really going to be there for you. Let me give you a couple dates to keep an eye with financially. So financially, I want to give you the dates of, let me see here, March 2nd, March 16th, March 19th. Let's see here. So around March 19th, the only thing that I would say about March 19th is there might be the possibility of you actually spending more than expected. So just kind of be careful for that date. The other dates of March 2nd and March 16th are looking very, very good financially. And then April 10th and April 14th, very, very positive days. May 4th and June 10th are actually looking good. So those are just some of the dates as I'm putting these yearly horoscopes together, I'm running into more and more information. So as you're going to notice throughout the horoscopes here, that I'm going to give out more dates. But as of now, for career, that's really, really good. And then everything that's coming up for Aries and the finances and building on the financials, the opportunities that I think are really going to be there, that's going to be significant. Like I said, the Mars retrograde later on in the year does have some concern, but maybe if you're well aware what to expect, you'll be well prepared, so things don't kind of come at you more of a challenge later on. This year, we are discussing more financially here right now. Love life is going to be there later on. But right now, as I'm running into these dates, you're going to notice there's a lot going on right off the bat with the finances. Like I said, as I'm putting these together, I'm running into more information. So just kind of be a little patient. Listen to the horoscopes, because I'm giving you dates. If you can write them down, or like I said, save this video, you can always reference back. So just kind of, but right now we're going through the career, and as I'm putting everything together, I'm running into a lot of information here. Hey everyone, there's a continuation of Aries yearly horoscope. So I just wanted to make a quick little correction that Jupiter is not going to be entering your second house at the end of this year. There's still going to be a lot of energy with your second house. That's no exception. It's going to be Aries that's going to be going back into your sign at the end of this year. There's going to be a little moment where it enters back into your 12th house, but then goes back into your own sign. So besides that, I did want to point out a couple of the eclipses that are going to be affecting your what I call the 8th house: joint resources, taxes, credit card, loans, child support, alimony. And those dates are May 16th and October 25th. So the October 25th one is a new moon eclipse that could bring about financial benefits, opportunities to build more financial security. The full moon eclipse on May 16th is actually going to be falling, it's a full moon. So this could be a time of completion. If you are going through like a divorce and you have to deal with issues like alimony, child support, dividing of assets, resources, that could be one of the things that's going to be going on that you have to take care of. There are a few more financial dates that I did want to point out, including August 14th, August 27th, September 10th through the 20th, and also November 9th, December 1st, and December 31st. Now, the only thing that I did want to point out about those 3 days, there can be some financial obligations, and sometimes this could relate to like paying some things off. If you have some debts or bills to take care of, that could be an opportunity where you are taking care of some debts or bills. This could be an opportunity where yes, you run up a debt. Like I said before, on some of the dates that I did notice, especially March 19th, and then also on November 9th, that you might be putting out more money than expected. And this could be a time where maybe certain things that you weren't really counting on to take care of, you have to take care of. Now, remember, there's going to be times where we have financial obligations that we have to take care of. And sometimes it's always when you least expect it, like a car breaks down, something in your home needs to suddenly be repaired, appliances break down. And especially, like I said, when you have the Mars retrograde going on for the last few months of 2022 into 2023, that wouldn't surprise me if there's some issues that you need to take care of uh, financially that you weren't really counting on. But the eighth house can also represent gaining financially, like through bonuses, commissions, capital gains. If you sell a house and you make a big profit out of it, if you're flipping houses and you make a profit out of it, those are gains, financial gains that are not really coming from you worked for it, even though we might be thinking, well, I worked for it because I was rebuilding it or fixing it, upgrading it, so forth. You could put value in your home, especially if you're making some repairs or renovations. That could be part of it too. Um, I did want to go through over the love life. You might be slightly disappointed that there's not a lot of dates that stand out, mainly because it's all about finances this year. And I mean, I'm not complaining. I wouldn't be complaining, but I can understand if you are out there dating and wanting to meet somebody significant. So you're going to have some new moons and some full moons that are going to be looking very positive for the love life, including February 16th, July 28th, April 16th, and September 25th. Those are all going to be days that are very significant for love and relationships, meeting somebody new, dating, going out. It's also a time to just be social. You might even find yourself just going to concerts, parties, events, socializing in that way. And this could actually be a time where you feel there is a greater connection with someone, and or maybe you're just open to dating, and just getting out and meeting somebody and building a connection there. Um, the other thing too that I did want to point out for love life is also going to be actually from July through the end of August. So August 27th and August 27th and November 31st into December 1st. So, okay. So I usually describe it as someone that takes greater chances in love, like when you're going to go on a dating site or a dating app, or maybe a social event to go and meet someone. I, that kind of stands out. On the November 30th and December 1st date, that reminds me of someone pursuing you that you don't want to be pursued from. So I hate using the word rejection. Maybe it's a form of rejection. There could be the possibility maybe you pursue someone yourself, but they don't want to be pursued by you. So that could be a situation where it could be an ex, it could be someone you first meet. I would say maybe it might be good to, if you do run into someone around that time and they're just standoffish or they're like, no, I don't want to do anything. I would say let them be, because the energy for 2023 is a lot more stronger for your love life than in 2022. 2023, it's all about financials. So you may get a little frustrated that why aren't things happening with my love life? I'm sure there's going to be more dates that I'm going to run into that I will mention. Right now, I wanted to point out more about the financials, that there's a lot going on for that. The love life, there's moments where it looks good, and then there's moments where I think you're going to get frustrated that you're going to feel like, why am I doing more than what I'm getting in return? So I'm still putting more research together. I love astrology. I'm always searching and searching and searching. And I know the way that I am, I'll find more dates for you. So right now, those are actually some of the dates that are really standing out for the love life. The new moon and the full moon that I was mentioning, of the dates of February 16th and April 16th, and then also July 28th and July 25th. All those time frames are really positive for love and relationships. You just, I would say it's a great time where there could easily be someone that you'd be just dating or hanging out with. But I do feel there is still a lot of hope of finding a significant partner. It just feels a little slow because the energy is more focused on career and finances than finding the long term partner. So it might sound a little bad, but I know there's more going on as I'm running into more events and more dates as I'm doing my research here and running into a lot of energy for you. Taurus, so the yearly horoscope for 2022 for you. So the big theme is actually going to be more about partnerships and relationships and collaborations with others. So partnerships and relationships doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, getting married. This could actually even be like a business partnership. So Uranus is still going to be in your sign throughout the rest of the year or throughout 2022. Neptune is currently in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and organizations for the rest of the year. Pluto is in your ninth house. So any kind of what I call broadening your horizons, focusing on school, education. Now, if you do have any legal issues to take care of or to deal with, this could be a time that could bring about those issues. Now, Saturn is in your career house, and this will continue on also for the rest of the year. Now, one of the things that I do want to discuss right now, even though the eclipses are going to be huge for you this year, it could bring marriage, meeting somebody new, and then eventually getting engaged and getting married. But right now, I want to discuss career. So, with career, one of the things that really stands out for me is Mars in the second house of earned income. So, Mars will be entering your second house starting August 21st through the end of the year and into the early part of 2023. Now, the reason why it's going to stay there for so long is because Mars will be retrograding, and the retrograde will start later in the year, and this will continue on all the way to January 2023. So you're going to have about a good 2.5 to 3 months that financial obligations and finance issues will be the big one for you. So Mars will begin its retrograde cycle starting October 30th through January 12th. Now, these, just in general, Mars in the second house is actually going to be a time where the focus is going to be about making more money, pursuing financial opportunities, focusing on how to make more money. There could possibly be issues relating to not getting the money that you know you've earned or have or deserve. This could be in relation to, let's say that um, you didn't get properly paid for a paycheck. So you're having that argument like, hey, I know I worked X amount of hours, but I didn't get that on my paycheck. Things like that. Maybe if there are types of issues relating with getting the money that you deserve to have, earned income, which is obviously like raises. If you feel you deserve a raise, if you did not get a raise, there could be issues relating to getting a raise. Again, this could be you looking for a new job and a new opportunity to make more money. And there could be great opportunities for you to make money, especially later throughout this year. And some of the dates that I feel are looking strong for you, just in general with career and finances, are March 6th, March 6th, and April 4th. You definitely want to keep an eye on April 4th. Um, October 14th and especially November 20, is it 23rd? between the 23rd and 24th. By the time we get closer to November, the date might actually be changed a little bit. So anyways, Mars in general is standing out career-wise, financials. This could really put you in a situation where you really have to start focusing on where do I want to be at with my finances, making more money, building more financial security. What do I need to do in order to bring that financial security for me? And this could be if it means a job change, if it means pursuing a new job venture, changing jobs, whether it's in the same company or outside of a company. This could easily put you in a situation where you feel like it's time for a change. So I wanted to just kind of go over and saying that with career, that's going to be really a big thing for the year. And it's not going to be as big as partnerships and relationships. So I wanted to just kind of finish up in saying that there's definitely going to be a lot going on throughout the year for career. The Mars retrograde and Mars being in your second house for literally about half the year is really going to be significant. And I think it's really going to bring about some opportunities and changes for you and your career in the future of your career and where you want to be at. I know that there's definitely going to be a lot going on when it comes to building more financial stability, security, what you're going to do next, where you want to pursue. I did want to give you a couple dates to kind of keep an eye out that might kind of create a little bit of a, I hate using the word pressure in a bad way, but maybe just feeling pulled in two different directions on where to go, what to do next. And this could relate to the home. And this would be also on August 28th. I want to see if there's anything, February 4th and August 28th. Those were the two dates. Those are going to be times where you're going to feel this conflict between the home, career, where you want to be at in the future, what if there's any kind of obligations, where you want to go, where you want to do next, where you want to be at. This could really be significant for you when it comes down to the future of your finances. Like I said, the Mars in your second house and the Mars retrograde is going to be big. So that's going to be a big focus for you, and just kind of taking the understanding that there's definitely going to be a lot going on with that. So I did want to mention that when we have Jupiter here, now, one of the things I wanted to mention was that Jupiter is still going to be in your 11th house throughout the year, but it will enter your 12th house starting May 11th all the way to about December, I believe it's December 20th. So the 12th house is going to be a time where you're going to be kind of reflecting. This could bring about a time of feeling maybe more introverted and kind of keeping to yourself. This is also going to be a time where you're going to be doing a lot of planning and organizing. And this could easily put you in a situation to start thinking the next chapter in your life and where you want to be at. If it does involve, like I said, with the career situation and maybe making changes in your career, finding a whole new job, finding a way maybe to get ahead, this is actually going to be a big significant time for you. But there's definitely going to be a time where I would say some changes are going to be coming up. So the other day that I did want to point out, I think I already mentioned it about March 6th and April 4th, but it's kind of interesting that once Jupiter leaves your 11th house and then you start focusing on your 12th house, that you're kind of thinking more the long term and what you want to do for the long term. And this, I, you're a sign that could easily be very stubborn when it comes to staying in one place. And it takes a lot for you to change. Change can be a little scary, but I think this is definitely going to be a time where it's going to put you in a situation to start thinking, maybe I need to make a change. And if it takes you to another city or another state, this could easily put you in a situation to start broadening the horizons and being open to other places, other cities that maybe before you weren't thinking about it or you just didn't care for it. And this time it's going to put you in a situation where you're now more open to going beyond just your normal, regular surroundings. All right, so the big news actually has to do with the eclipses. So, okay, so throughout the year, there's going to be a set of eclipses in Taurus and in Scorpio. So, in Taurus, obviously it's your own sign and house, which is great, but your opposing sign is Scorpio, which is in the partnership house. So, in the partnership house, yes, this could bring commitments, relationships, engagements, marriage, meeting somebody, divorcing somebody. So, first, let's talk about the new moon eclipses. So the new moon eclipses, we do have one on, so we have a new moon eclipse on April 30th, and of course that will be in Taurus. But we also have the full moon eclipse in Taurus, and that won't be till, looks like November 8th. So one of the things that I would say is that when it comes down to for your own sign, so an eclipse has the energy to last 6 months. So the next 6 months, yes, it's going to be all about your wants and needs, where you want to be at in the future. If there's any kind of changes, anything new you want to do, you want to focus on, where you want to be at, like I discussed about the career. And so the career, maybe finally you're going back to school or you're going to school. Maybe you're entering college, university, taking some classes and courses to further your career. So that's going to be big for you, especially throughout that time. Now, to me, the way that I keep getting it, at least for, what you want to do next, there's going to be a time where I would say you start putting more priority on if you've been feeling like you maybe neglected your own personal self. So this is actually going to be a time where you're going to be focusing on you and making those kinds of changes. Then we have the eclipses are in your partnership house. So there's a full moon eclipse in your partnership house on May 16th, but a new moon eclipse in your partnership house on October 25th. And that's actually going to be a time where it could bring about marriage, commitment, engagement. I have seen where there could be a divorce in, let's say, the early part of the eclipses. And by the last eclipse, which they tend to usually last a year and a half to 2 years, we have a set of four usually. By the time we get to the last one, it can easily bring about a whole new relationship, engagement, and another marriage. And I've seen that several times. So this could bring about, like I said, engagement, a marriage. Maybe you're going through a divorce, then you meet somebody else and you meet them and go get married and start a whole new chapter in your life that way. One of the things that I did want to mention for the eclipse on May 16th is that there's actually going to be a really good connection with Jupiter, and Jupiter will still be in your 11th house. So this is actually a really good time to really bring about somebody that I feel you could easily feel a great connection, a great bond, someone that you would feel this, uh, you know, great connection to move forward. Now, also when we deal with partnerships, this could also be a time of collaborations and partnerships of a business form. So the business aspect could actually be, for instance, like a business a joint venture. Maybe you're collaborating with someone on starting a business. This could also be a time where you are moving forward with someone to pursue maybe flipping houses, starting a new business online. Um, I'm noticing a lot of tech type of businesses going on, apps, people creating apps, starting apps online. So maybe you're collaborating with someone, and this is actually a great opportunity to, like I said, further your career and really move forward with that. And so you're collaborating with that. So with Scorpio, like I had mentioned before about Scorpio being very significant because it does relate about joint assets, joint resources, bringing two things together to create a project, financial type project. And that's where I usually notice people doing business collaborations, business ventures, joint partnerships. So this is actually going to be significant time, and that can easily also be an indication of more money, or that by creating these collaborations, especially on the May 16th eclipse, which they do last 6 months, that it can easily bring an indication of making money. One of the things that I have not mentioned is that when you have Jupiter in the 11th house and you're starting a side venture, this is a good sign and a good indication of making side income or side money. So with this eclipse, even though it's a full moon eclipse, but making a great connection to Jupiter can be an indication of making money, or side income. Now, there is no indication of how much money. I mean, I don't know if it's a small little percent, enough to live off of, enough to create your own income to live off of. I cannot say. This could be maybe, a small little income, but you would still need a full-time income. So I'm not sure where it would fall, but at least the good is that it does indicate a good energy during this eclipse. So each eclipse lasts 6 months, pretty much until you get to like the next eclipse. So that's a good indication of opportunities there. So that's looking really, really good. Now, I did want to mention some great dates for love and relationships. And as of now, the ones that I've run into are February 23rd and February 24th, April 12th, September 10th. I actually, you know what? Even though I found September 10th and September 19th and 20th, I kind of want to stretch it out all the way from the 10th through the 20th. So I would say keep an eye during that time of that week for finances. November 14th and November 20th. And then there's a new moon on August 27th that is actually looking very, very positive when it comes down to the love life. So these are actually really good days for the love life. I was actually meaning the love life here. So love and relationships. Let me go back. Like I said, February 17th. Ooh, February 17th. I ran into that day. February 17th, the 23rd, and the 24th. Then we got April 12th. Then we have, like I said, September 10th through the 20th. Then November 14th and November 20th. So the new moon on August 27th. So what's interesting on that day, okay, so a new moon lasts 2 weeks. The energy lasts 2 weeks. But it could go one of two ways. It could be breaking away as in starting new, breaking away as in doing something different, maybe breaking away as in starting a new chapter in a current relationship. Now, it could also just be just doing something different for once in the current relationship, taking a new, what do you call it? Taking a new type of route, in the relationship, maybe moving in together, maybe getting engaged. So that's actually a very positive new moon for the love life. If you are single and looking to meet somebody new, this could be a time of dating, going on a dating app, maybe going on your first date after being divorced for a while and not really going out there and dating that much. So I really like that during that new moon, that's going to really boost a lot of good energy. And that's actually going to be very positive. I mean, you're also going to be going through the eclipses all at the same time. So you couldn't ask for anything better. The theme and the energy for you is actually going to be about relationships, commitments, marriage, joint partnerships. The love life is looking a lot better. Finances, like I was saying, with the Mars in the second house, is looking really, really good. Like I said, for the love life, the February dates that I gave you, the 17th, the 23rd, the 24th, those are looking really positive. And that could even just bring an indication of if you are even starting a side venture, those could be really good days for a side income too. Besides that, I was telling you about the 11th house. And also, that I was telling you about the eclipses. Remember how I was saying about that eclipses can also bring about joint partnerships, and they could also benefit you financially too. So this could go one of either ways. But the love life is looking really, really good. I think that's a greater theme than finances, even though it is there too with these same eclipses, can bring about joint partnerships and relationships. And so keep an eye on the dates that I gave you, and finances that are looking really, really good. Love life is a big one throughout the year. Um, I'm pretty sure I'll be giving out more dates as we go. And even throughout the year, they'll definitely be running into more dates for you. But I would say some big changes, breaking away from your regular routine. So this is going to be a year where you take greater chances, maybe even greater chances than what you had before. And this could take you out of your element than what you're used to. But look, it could easily produce money and financial long-term benefits. Gemini. So, as we begin the new year, Jupiter will be in your career house. So, this is actually going to be a great time to focus on pursuing career opportunities, promotions, advancements, maybe even starting a business venture. Uranus is going to be in your 12th house of secrets and solitude all year. There may be the possibility of experiencing like stress and anxiety. Uranus is a very electric kind of sign. And a lot of times, what tends to happen is, especially when you have it in the 12th house, it can create a lot of this energy that's bottled up. So you need to utilize that in a way of being productive, like writing and reading, where your brain is being mentally active. If not, all that's going to happen is you're going to feel like a sense of anxiety growing on you. So, for the rest of the year, Uranus is going to be in the 12th house. Saturn is actually going to be in your uh, ninth house. So, that's actually going to be a time of thinking more for the long term, planning, organizing. There might be a time if you're deciding to go back to school, college, university, maybe even taking some classes and courses to further your career. Now, this could also be a time where you study and learn a new topic of interest. Maybe you pursue training or to get certified. Maybe it's online courses, classes to further your career. Now, Pluto is actually going to be in your eighth house for the rest of the year. So it's pretty much going to be there. And so there may be the possibility of dealing with legal issues, especially if it involves like child support, alimony. If you're going through a divorce, this could be a time of having Pluto in the eighth house. It can create some some challenges, especially when it comes to trying to maybe reason with someone. Now, I have seen the type of legal issues that create the loss of income or financial obligations. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to benefit you. It could, but doesn't guarantee that this would actually benefit you. Now, from May 10th through October 28th, Jupiter is actually going to enter your 11th house. Now, besides the fact of building more friendships, connections, connecting maybe with your local community or building a community, like take for instance, if you're someone that is on social media and you're looking to build your brand, this could be a time where you're building that brand to really connect and build not just a following, but also, obviously to make sales of your product. So that's going to continue on. There's going to be a time where it does retrograde back into your career on August 29th through December 20th. So it's interesting because sometimes when Jupiter is in your 11th house, that can also be an indication of making money from a side venture or side business. And this could be a time where if you did start up a business and maybe you're collaborating and you're working with others to build this business or this brand, it could be that when Jupiter goes into your 11th house, it starts building income. Not necessarily saying that you're going to be making money that you could live off of. This could just be, like I said, a side income. It could be your main source of income, or this could be a company or a product that you are building on to become successful down the road, to bring you more money and a financial security that you could live off of, and that could end up becoming your main source of income. Now, um, one of the things that I did want to point out, a couple things. Okay, so the first thing that I did want to point out is that as you start 2022, Venus will be retrograding, and it will be retrograding in your eighth house. Now remember, Pluto is already in your eighth house. So when you have Venus and Pluto in this house, it can create positive financial benefits, negative financial situations, depending on what's going on. This could be, again, legal battles. This could be collaborating and joining together with others to build a business, a brand, to become successful. And this could bring something for the long term. Okay, so Venus is actually going to be entering your eighth house on November 6, 2021. Will stay in that house till March 6, 2022. It will retrograde between December 19, 2021 through January 28, 2022. Now, like I was saying about Venus and Pluto being in the same house, the concern that I have is that it can create some regrets. And the regrets can actually be with items that you purchase. For instance, if you buy a vehicle, a computer, maybe even a cell phone, maybe even a house. There may be regrets or buyer's remorse later on, especially during the retrograde cycle. Not when it's going direct, during the retrograde cycle. So that's between December 19th, 2021 through January 28th, 2022. If I could hold out, I've seen where people purchase a vehicle and end up with a ton of problems. I don't know if you want to call it a lemon, later on. So if now the only thing is that sometimes it can create issues where a car breaks down and you have to replace that vehicle. It might be a tough situation. You have no choice. But if you're looking to purchase a vehicle, a computer where you can hold out, I would until after the retrograde cycle has ended. Now, like I said, because there's also going to be issues, possibly issues in relation to financial obligations, this can create some problems. So I would say that this can bring about some concerns, but the more you wait towards February and March, that can benefit you more so, where things start working more to your benefit. Right now, the way that I would see it as, I would hold out a little bit on things, and this can actually help you in the long run. Now, Venus is also in the eighth house that can create a sense of, I hate using the word sexual tension, but this kind of reminds me when maybe two people that aren't connecting well, or maybe connecting too good. And sometimes that chemistry is difficult to avoid. Now, this can create affairs. And so you want to make sure that anybody that you associate with during this time, that this is somebody that, you aren't going to be having any regrets later on. Now, this is a great time if you're out there dating or looking to meet somebody new. I would say this is a great time. During the retrograde cycle, like I said, that could bring about some regrets. So if you can avoid that time period of going out, meeting somebody, I would do so. I will be discussing the Venus retrograde later on separately, but at least for right now, just kind of have the indication that there could be some financial issues to deal with. There could be some issues with the love life, and there could be some issues when it comes to purchasing uh, big items like a vehicle, a computer, a house, I would try to just be a little cautious during that time. Now, the next thing that actually stands out is going to be that Mars is going to be in your sign from August 21st, 2022 through March 25th, 2023. The reason why it will be there for so long is because of a Mars retrograde that will begin on October 30th, 2022, and end January 12th, 2023. So, the way that I would describe during that time, this is actually a great time where you would be much more into, what you can pursue for yourself, where you want to be at in the future, what you want to accomplish for yourself. The retrograde cycle, now, I haven't really noticed too much when the retrograde cycle is in your own sign, if it affects you in a negative way. The way that I would monitor it is what house it falls on your birth chart. So you could be a Gemini with, Leo rising and have it affecting in your friendships and your house of friendships. So it all depends on where it's affecting you, how it's affecting you, and maybe ways that you could, just being cautious and careful and not being too rude or aggressive or negative to others. So that's the only thing that I would say maybe might be a minor concern, but it's definitely going to be a time of lots of energy, putting in a lot of um, effort into projects and tasks. So if you're pursuing um, projects and opportunities, this would actually be a really good time for you. So I've been discussing Venus and Pluto being in your eighth house. This might be a time for you to work on any health, financial related issues. Like I said, if you can avoid purchasing a vehicle, computer, cell phone during the retrograde cycle of December 19th, 2021 through January 28th, 2022, that could really help you out to avoid any issues that are going to be connected to things that have just not been working out for you. You don't want to end up with a purchase that you will later regret. Now, there could be some sexual tension with Venus in the eighth house, but during the retrograde cycle, you just want to be careful that you don't end up with somebody that might bring bad issues or issues that you just don't want to be dealing with. So this could be a time it's fun to be dating, meeting people. You just want to be careful during that time that there could be some regrets. Now, financially, yes, it could bring about some great opportunities and benefits. This could bring about more money, more financial security, stability. Now, let's discuss about the eclipses. So you're going to have a new moon eclipse in your 12th house on April 30th, and also a full moon eclipse in the same house on November 8th. Now, each eclipse lasts 6 months. This could be a time to get rid of any unhealthy habits or people from your life. It's also a time just to rest and relax, or if you have some medical or health issues you need to take care of, this would be a great time to take care of them. It's also a time to focus on just taking care of you and focusing on getting healthier, getting stronger. Now, as you have a new moon eclipse in your sixth house on October 25th and a full moon eclipse on uh, May 16th. So the sixth house is a house where I would say you would be working hard for the money, taking care of tasks and projects. The one thing that I do like that I think would be very beneficial for you is that, especially if you've been working on a job, building more um, security for yourself, starting a business, maybe even pursuing a promotion or advancement. What I like about the sixth house is, yes, it's going to bring more work, but it's also can easily bring you more money, more bonuses, commissions, sales, especially if you're in a job that provides a service. This could easily increase clients and customers. And this will go on throughout 2022 and into 2023. with Venus and Pluto that start off in your eighth house, this can easily bring about great opportunities, more money, again, bonuses and commissions. So it's a time to work hard for the money, but also a great time where you can easily make more money. Now, some of the dates that I did want to give you that will be very beneficial for your career is going to be um, January 5th, January 28th, February 11th. February 17th is very significant for your career, and I feel that could easily bring about great financial benefits and possibly financial success. February 17th, March 3rd, April 30th, May 17th, October 22nd is also a significant time. Now, another significant time that I really do like for you will be between April 16th and May 25th. And that's because Mars, Neptune, and Jupiter all fall in your career house. And this is a great time for you to really benefit with your career that could bring about great opportunities and great success, especially on the dates of April 30th and May 17th. Definitely keep an eye on those two dates. I feel that those dates can really bring about financial benefits, a promotion, advancement, maybe a big client or customer that could really be very beneficial for you and could bring you financial security for the long term. So, those are really significant days for you. It's a very hard working productive time for you in your career for 2022 into 2023. And I really feel that it brings about great financial success and building success, more money, more stability, more security, more benefits. This could really be a very great time for you. All right, Gemini. So now we're going to be talking about love and relationships. Now, when it comes down to Venus and Pluto, if you remember earlier that I had said, Venus and Pluto together early in the year can bring some sexual tension. And that actually is true. It can create problems in relationships, or especially when it comes to um, two people in a relationship, marriage, trying to connect with each other, and maybe there's friction or just not getting along with each other. Now, there are going to be some love and relationship dates throughout the year. There's a couple that I do want to point out that are significant and just kind of to look out for. So, the Venus retrograde, remember, is going to be from December 19, 2021 through January 28, 2022. Um, Other love and relationship dates to keep an eye out for are going to be January 8th and January 10th, January 28th, March 3rd. And those are significant because Venus is, like I said, in your eighth house along with Pluto. And this is actually going to be a time where there can be a great connection with someone. And this could bring about a relationship, a commitment, a great energy. Maybe it does bring about a significant long term relationship. Now, from the 29th of January through March, Venus goes direct. So during those dates of like March 3rd, March 5th, those are significant and positive days that could bring about a great loving relationship or building a stronger bond and connection with someone. Now, other dates to look out for are June 11th, June 21st. Now, the only thing about the June 21st date is that could go one of two ways. So that could be where it could bring about what they call a clandestine affair or a secret love affair. Um, or it could bring about that you are being more compassionate and more selfless to someone that you are currently in a relationship. So this could be someone that you have a great relationship to, and that this could actually bring about a greater bond and connection. So if you have been feeling disconnected with someone, this is a great time to build on that connection. And then the other date further down in the year is October 18th. So that I feel is a very positive, uh, great, loving, positive social day too. And that can actually be very, very good when it comes to building a bond and a connection with someone, or maybe going out on a date with someone. So, these dates are very significant. I know you may be a little disappointed that I don't have a ton of dates for the year for the love life. Now, throughout the year, as we go through, as I discuss the monthly horoscopes, and throughout the year for that, I will most likely run into a lot more dates. So right now, I did want to point out those significant dates, and then the time frames. Like I said, with Venus in the eighth house, Pluto in the eighth house. Remember, like I discussed with the finances, how that could be financially significant. And remember, I was saying, if you can hold out on purchasing like a vehicle or a big major purchase during the retrograde cycle, I would hold out until after January 28th. But then the other thing too is it also affects the love life too. And that could bring about issues. Maybe it could be positive, maybe it could be negative. You just don't know. But I'm just putting out there some issues that you could run into. Now, yes, it could bring about the possibility of someone from your past coming back into your life. And I've seen that a few times. The thing is, it does not indicate or guarantee a reconciliation. So, this could be having somebody come back into your life only to discover nothing's changed, or they don't want to take ownership for their actions. So it could put you in a situation of, oh, great, it gave me the opportunity to really try again, only to discover we're not getting anywhere. Maybe that's what you need to see for yourself. Maybe you need to run into that opportunity to see, I can finally close this chapter of my life and move on. Because what I thought, maybe at first, maybe it was me jumping to conclusions. Maybe I did give it a chance, and then now you give it a chance only to discover maybe it was best to be left alone. So that could be a situation to kind of keep an eye out for and just to be aware of. But finances are, I know, are going to be significant throughout the year, and and career is going to be significant too, especially if you are building or building up a business or business venture. I think that will be quite significant there. Like I said, throughout the month of for the monthly horoscopes, I'll bring out more love and relationship dates, but these so far are pretty significant, and just to keep an eye out for. Throughout the month of June can bring about an indication, like I said, of a secret love affair. But I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen in your particular situation. You could actually be more considerate and more compassionate to your partner or to someone close to you, and maybe it affects you in that way. So this is kind of the big one that I was talking about for the year. I think the eclipses that you're going to be running into, especially on April 30th and November 8th, are really going to be positive for your well-being. Working hard for the money, more work projects, tasks, especially in May 16 and for October 25th, that are going to be very positive for you. You're going to be working hard for the money, bringing in more tasks and projects. This could be very significant for sales and making more money for the long term. So this is actually going to be a very productive year for you. Like I said, work-wise, money, building more financial security. And I think you'll end up liking that. So it's a great time, and a lot for you to look forward to for 2022. Cancer. So the big theme for the year is going to be about personal relationships, whether it's friendships, family, friends, and of course, love and relationships. Now, first, let me go through very quickly on some of the main planets that will be stationed in some of these signs throughout the year, including Uranus, which will be in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and organizations throughout the year. So there could be a time of getting involved in different groups and organizations, or you even attracting different types of people in your environment, in your friendship social circle. Now, Pluto will be in your partnership house, which has been there for years. So it'll be more of the same throughout the year. Saturn is going to be in your eighth house of joint resources, taxes, credit cards, and loans throughout 2022. There definitely can be issues relating to finances and financial obligations, especially if you happen to be maybe going through a divorce, maybe having to take care of some other issues relating with finances. There could even be the possibility of issues that, you're falling into debt, have debt to take care of. Maybe you have to file bankruptcy, or maybe there's a tax lien or a judgment of some sort. So, this might also be a time where you even organize your finances and your credit, like cleaning up your credit, trying to improve your credit score. So, it has its benefits. Now, Jupiter will be in your ninth house through May 9th, but it will enter your career house from May 10th through October 28th before re entering your ninth house for one last time from the 29th through December 20th. Yeah, from December 20 to December 20th. So that's going to be a significant time for your career, which I will be discussing here in a little bit. Now, career obviously is going to be big for you later on. It's not going to be a major theme if it wasn't for Jupiter in your career house later on this year or later on in the year. But right now, I would say that it's really going to be more about organizing your finances. So, right now, I want to discuss really the big themes, like I said, for the year, especially when it comes down to career later on in the year. But right now, it's going to be about personal relationships, partnerships, friendships. So that's going to be a big theme. If anything, almost majority of the theme for the year. So let me first kind of discuss about that and things to look out for. Okay, so as we're going to start off the year, there will be a Venus retrograde in your partnership house. Now, the Venus retrograde actually starts on December 19th, 2021, and will continue all the way to January 28th, 2022. Now, the only minor concern that I have about a Venus retrograde during that time is that yes, it can bring endings of a relationship, partnership, a committed relationship, marriage. So I hope that any issues that you may be experiencing at this time will be resolved by that time, because the Venus retrograde is only going to enhance what has already been there prior to the retrograde. I've seen many relationships end during a Venus retrograde, and especially when it falls in your partnership house. This may not be a time period that you will be looking forward to, especially if there's already been issues in a current relationship. My hope is that maybe by coming together and saying, hey, we've been having these issues, that it would be a time to work out the issues or problems, especially maybe through counseling or therapy, or just having more open communication. So, just something to be aware of, and that may need work in the relationship. So, however you can handle it, just something to be aware of. But definitely just be aware of it. I'll be later on putting out an article that I usually write regarding the Venus retrograde. And I'll put out a video about the Venus retrograde, something just to be aware of. And but for your sign, it falls in the partnership house, and this can create some difficulties here that could make things a little bit challenging and difficult. So it's just something to work on or to just be aware of. Now, there's going to be some sets of eclipses. Now, an eclipse has the energy to last 6 months each, and you're going to get two in your fifth house of love, children, and creative projects. A new moon solar eclipse will be on October 25th, but a full moon lunar eclipse will be on May 16th. So those eclipses can bring love. You may fall in love. You could meet a long term partner. This could also be a time where you may also hear news of a baby on the way. If you are looking to have children, this could be a time where there could be a baby on the way. Now, this is also a very artistic and creative time for you. And this is also a time where, if you're looking to write, whether writing a book, music, producing, creating, this can actually be a really great time to produce and create and really put together a wonderful project or begin your career path in music and movies. If you're learning to study music, like a musical instrument, this is also a great time to do that. And a really good time also to get involved in sports and hobbies, especially like if you're looking to get into a new type of hobby. Some people just get into photography. So, this is something maybe to be aware of if you're looking to kind of advance in that and study and learn how to produce and take pictures or put a videos together, and also a great time to write. Again, you may find love or fall in love. Not saying that you're going to go cheat on a spouse or a partner if you're already in a committed relationship. This could also just be a very social time for you where you're getting out, being more social and outgoing, meeting new people, maybe getting involved in sports and activities and events. Maybe you're putting together events and parties yourself. So, this is actually going to be a very interesting time and a very social time. Now, you're going to have two eclipses in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and organizations. So, that's actually going to be you're going to have a new moon eclipse on April 30th and a full moon eclipse on November 8th. So, this is a very social, positive time. You could be involved in different groups and organizations. You can also build new connections with new, different types of people. Now, everything that I keep getting is also a great social time again. Maybe you're finding yourself in more events and parties and organizations and just kind of getting involved more in your community. Now, a lot of times I notice people getting involved in their community, like for instance, when we think like politicians or people that are getting involved more in the political arena. So it doesn't necessarily mean like you're going to run for a major office. You could, or it could also just be helping out a campaign, a group, an event, an organization, um, maybe a nonprofit. So this is a very interactive social time for you. So I do have a few love and relationship dates to keep an eye out for. The dates I will give you is January 1st, 2022, January 5th, January 8th, 2022, January 24th. Now, Mars will be entering your partnership house on January 24th. So, the next 7 weeks, you're also going to have for a short time um, Venus in your seventh house. So, definitely a time that could help in resolving and working out any issues or problems. Uh, March 18th, let me see what else here. Now, I do feel that you also are going to have, um, okay, there's a new moon on the new moon eclipse on April 30th, but let me give you some other dates: August 1st, August 14th, August 26th, and November 13th as great positive social and love and relationship dates. Now, I'm going to go back to this April 30th, where around that time we got an eclipse. It's also a very significant time for you because there's great energy and connection to being social, being outgoing. Maybe there's a big event going on during that time. And so it's a very social time period for you. Definitely keep an eye around that time. Again, the energy of an eclipse lasts 6 months. So I really like that energy that Venus and Pluto are going to connect very well at that time. Could bring about a great loving relationship. Maybe you get engaged or get married around that time, or you attend parties and events like weddings. I also like the dates of May 15th and May 16th with that eclipse around that time too in your fifth house of love, full moon eclipse. The only little thing is that there could be a sense of confusion. Now, I don't know what this would be about. Again, the energy would last about 6 months. Now, it could be maybe not necessarily confused like you're confused. It could be maybe someone being indecisive with you, or maybe you're indecisive with them. So it's definitely a situation that I would kind of monitor. Um, I do feel that when it comes down to opportunities for love, it's definitely going to be there for you. But I think you're also going to feel that depending on who you are around, if it is a committed relationship, maybe you might be having doubts about them. Or if you're meeting somebody new, you might be having doubts about them too. So this is actually going to be a very good, positive, and active time for you for your love life. There's definitely a lot going on. Keep an eye on the dates that I gave you because it's definitely going to be very active, very productive. If you are single and looking to meet somebody new, I don't think you can fall wrong in being able to meet somebody significant for the year. As long as you're being open and putting yourself out there. I always joke around and say, unless you're hoping for, to fall in love with the FedEx guy or something, you're going to have to open that door up a little bit. So there's definitely a lot going on. It's a very active time for you. There's all these dates throughout the year with the monthly horoscopes. I will be posting out more dates, but in the meantime, there's definitely a lot to look forward to. Now, regarding finances, so as I was explaining earlier about Saturn being in the eighth house and possible issues relating with finances, taxes, credit. Now, Saturn will be retrograding between June 1st through October 22nd. So, if anything, I would say that during that time, that's where I would say that there might be some concerns with financial obligations, whether it's taxes, credit, alimony, bankruptcies. Um, During a Saturn retrograde in the eighth house, that's when I've seen people get like cars repossessed, things like that, credit card issues, or when they're filing bankruptcy. So it's really going to depend on what's been going on. Just kind of be aware and be prepared that there might be some issues that you are going to be running into or possibly running into. It could just make you more focused on taking care of your finances and just budgeting more and just being more aware of the finances. Now, let me give you a few financial dates to keep an eye out for. That's February 2nd, um, obviously May 29th, June 21st, August 28th, and September 28th. Now, remember that I was saying that from May 10th through October 28th, Jupiter is going to be in your career house. And this is actually going to be a time where there could be opportunities of a promotion, advancement, opportunities to make more money, more stability, more security there. So, this could bring about a great opportunity for you to advance in your career. Maybe it's your turn for promotion. This Jupiter in the 10th house, that's actually also a time where I've seen people start businesses or pursue side ventures or business ventures. So this is a great time if you are looking maybe to pursue something like that. This is a great opportunity for you. Um, the June 21st date is actually very positive with all that. And the August 28th date is just a day where you're going to be very busy with tasks and projects, and maybe you're just going to have a lot going on at that time. Now, the only thing that I would say is because of that Saturn retrograde during the days of June 4th through October 22nd, could create some challenges financially. Again, there may be possibility you don't feel much at that time. Or maybe there's other obligations that you're taking care of with finances. Now, that could also relate to retirements, pensions. Maybe you're finding a new way to save, like starting a pension or a retirement fund. So, this is just going to be a time where I would say to kind of focus on looking over the finances, budgeting and saving. Keep an eye on those dates. Yes, there was a lot more going on with the love life. It's there's opportunities of finances, obviously with career. Um, there's going to be a little bit of a positive going on with that, and a lot more into 2023. All right, Leo. So, you know what? The year is actually going to be more about career in the home. You may feel a little disappointed that, at least for right now, I'm not going to be discussing too much about love and relationships. The only part would be with Saturn plays a big part. But there is going to still be a lot of activity going on for you this year. Now, first, I just want to go through that Uranus is going to be in your career house all year. This could bring about an indication of doing something different, maybe changing career paths or career or jobs, and maybe even taking on a new path. Neptune will still be in your eighth house of joint resources, taxes, credit cards, and loans. Saturn will be in your partnership house, commitment house. So this could be a time where you're looking to settle down more, get committed, maybe even get married. Pluto will still be in your sixth house of work, service, and health all year. Um, Jupiter is going to still be in your eighth house um, till May 9th. Then we'll enter your ninth house from May 10th through October 28th, but we'll return for a short time back to your eighth house from October 29th through December 20th. So, and that could obviously bring about issues having to deal with finances and career. So let's discuss about your career. Now, there's going to be a series of eclipses that will fall in your career house. And the significance is that Uranus is also in your career house. Now, remember, like I was saying about Uranus being in your career house can bring about significant changes in your career. I've seen people do sudden changes like quit a job to start a new career path like a business, or even change jobs and go to something completely different. So, um, the eclipses in your career. So, you'll have a new moon eclipse on April 30th and a full moon eclipse in your career house on November 8th. So, one thing that I do feel is that this can bring about a time of opportunities for you to pursue something different for your career and finances. Now, an eclipse, the energy of an eclipse lasts 6 months. So this can actually be significant. Maybe you're pursuing a different type of path, like going back to school and getting a certain degree. Maybe you're going from the working from 9 to 5 to pursuing a business to do something more at home, or maybe even from working in the office to working remotely. So this could be a significant time for your career, and this could bring about opportunities for you to pursue more for yourself and to do more for yourself. And this could really help you for the long term. Now, one of the things that I do feel would be significant is that this can also help you to really build more stability and security there for yourself. And it opens up other opportunities for you. Um, I do want to give you some significant career dates to keep an eye out for. And they are February 8th, February 16th, February 17th, February 23rd. Now, what's interesting, what I like about the February 16th date is that there's also going to be a full moon in your sign. And that could bring about 2 weeks of great opportunities for career, for job, for work. So you might be finding yourself maybe looking for work, or if you're pursuing a new job or a contract, or building even connections to build for your work. You know, kind of reminds me like someone who's in real estate and they're out networking to sell homes and, build clientele. So keep an eye around that time of from about, let me see here. Yeah, from about February 16th, because the full moon is actually going to be on February 16th, actually. It's actually in 27 degrees Leo. But I do feel that this is going to be significant time. And by the way, it can bring about great connections with more money and more opportunity, and also possibly a promotion or a raise. So the February 16th date, keep an eye on that time. I'd also give you the dates of June 11th, September 11th, September 18th, September 20th, September 26th, December 22nd. Now, financially, I do want to give you also the dates of April 12th, April 30th. Obviously, that's at the same time of the new moon eclipse, and May 18th. So obviously, with that April 30th eclipse, there's going to be a really nice connection with Venus and Jupiter. It's what we call a conjunction. So it's pretty much the two planets together. And what I feel when I tend to notice a Venus Jupiter connection can bring about opportunity, more money, more benefits, connections. It could bring bonuses, commissions, great sales. So from that April 30th time, in the next 6 months, that could be significant for work and opportunities and more money and more stability. So that's a very significant time that you definitely want to keep an eye out for, the April 30th date also, besides February 16th. So you definitely want to keep an eye around that time. I do feel that this can also lead you in the direction of pursuing some training, classes, courses to further your career. But I do feel this is great time for you for opportunities, to build connections. And like I said, more money, more stability, more security there. Now, one of the things that I did want to talk about also is your home. And you're going to have a new moon eclipse on October 25th and a full moon eclipse on May 16th in your fourth house of home. Now, this will oppose Uranus that is in your career house. So it's making me wonder if this is going to be a situation of, like I said, maybe working from home, working remotely, maybe having to relocate for a job. And this could bring about opportunities for you to make money or to build more financial security. So one of the things that I feel could bring about, yes, it could bring a relocation, renovation, or making changes in the home. Maybe you decide to make some some changes relating to work in the home, like building a home office. Now, I do feel that this could also be a time where you maybe create a business at home, and this could bring about where, like I said, you work from home and you create your home environment as a work environment. So the opposition, though, is the only little part that slight concern, like I said, can bring about significant changes. Making sudden changes, like a whole new job that takes you to another state or another city. This could be sudden. Even if you are kind of planning for it, this could be last minute changes or something. So you want to keep an eye on that time. So that's going to actually go for about 6 months for each eclipse. So pretty much the entire year is going to be about career, the home. That's pretty significant. I mean, to me, everything that I keep getting with the dates that I gave you are significant, obviously, for finances. Now, Jupiter in the 8th house, which, like I said, will be throughout the year to May 9th, and then also from October 29th through December 20th. That could bring about bonuses, commissions, making money through others. So this could be, different opportunities of gaining commissions and sales, and even benefiting financially through capital gains, maybe making sales, and so you end up gaining a profit in that sense. So that could bring about some great financial opportunities and benefits there. All right, so starting on December 20, no. Okay, so starting on December 19th, 2021, and all the way through January 28th, 2022, Venus will be retrograding in your sixth house of work, service, and health. So that can have a few different situations going on. For instance, it obviously could relate to work. Maybe you run into more work situations, changing jobs. Maybe you do lose a job. Maybe you decide to quit a job. This could also bring about situations where you have issues with clients and coworkers or employees. And this could create some disruptions. Now, obviously, it also relates to work. And this could just be even just a simple time where you just may see an increase of work projects, tasks. There could be maybe a situation where you need to make some changes and make some adjustments. Now, Venus is actually going to be in your sixth house all the way till March 6, 2022. But the retrograde will be from December 19, 2021 through January 28, 2022. So that's the only time that I would have a little bit concern about. Now, this could also relate to health and well-being. I usually say, with Venus in the sixth house, it could actually create a situation where you indulge in fatty foods and sweets. Maybe it's a time where you try to work on cutting back or getting into a diet or starting a health regimen. This could be a great time to also work on taking care of not only your health and well-being, but maybe even a pet, maybe taking walks, maybe if you get a new pet and you start to put focus on working maybe by training them, maybe taking 2 obedient classes, or maybe just even spending more time with them. So this is actually going to be a time where work-wise, it's actually going to be very, very positive. But during the retrograde cycle, that could bring about some challenges. Again, it's just going to be how it may end up affecting you. It could just be an increase of work projects. It could be more work. It could be changing jobs, quitting, starting something different. You may have issues, like I said, with a client or customer or a coworker. And this could bring about some, arguments or challenges. Maybe you find out something about them that makes you question if you should continue to be working with them. So this is actually going to be a time where I would say it could bring about some challenges, but it could also be a situation where you just maybe want to ride things along, and then things are just going to get better after that. Health-wise, it could make you discipline a little bit more on your health and well-being. Maybe you need to go to the dentist to take care of your teeth, or maybe even, like I said, taking more walks and starting a health regimen. So I will be discussing the Venus retrograde with the monthly horoscopes, and I even have an article if you ever want to read the article on thepsychicone.com, and that would definitely give you more of a detail on what you can expect and how to best handle the Venus retrograde. So when it comes to love and relationships, friendships, connections, there's only a couple things that really stand out. Obviously, one, you have the Saturn in your partnership commitment house throughout the year, but it will retrograde between June 4th through October 22nd. So that could bring about divorces, separations, arguments, disagreements. That's only if there has been critical issues going on before the retrograde. So the retrograde is only going to heighten what's already been going on with that. But it could bring about the opportunity to work out any issues or problems maybe going through therapy, counseling to work things out. Now, the other thing that I did want to bring up is that Mars is going to be in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and organizations later on in the year from August 21st through March 25th, 2023. But it will retrograde between October 30th through January 12th, 2023. So now, Mars in the 11th house usually increases friendships, groups, organizations, parties, events. Maybe you attend parties, events, or you put together a party or event. But when it retrogrades, I've seen friendships end. I've seen arguments and disagreements with friendships. I remember there was a time during the Mars retrograde in my 11th house that I had a friendship temporarily end, but it took us about 1.5 to 2 years to start speaking again. So on one end, it could actually create issues for the friendship or someone close to you like a friend. This could create disagreements, separations. Hopefully, it's a situation that it helps to work through these issues, that it does not lead to any kind of endings of any sort. Hopefully, it's just having some discussions, working things out, and then coming to a compromise. So that'll be, like I said, Mars in your 11th house will be from August 21st, 2022 through March 25th, 2023. But it will retrograde from October 30th, 2022 through January 12th, 2023. So I would say hopefully during that time, yes, it's going to be a very social time for you where you'll be seeing maybe even an increase of friends, groups, networking, building connections. If you're looking to build a clientele, that's going to be big for you during that time. And like I said, it's just the retrograde cycle that could bring about some issues. But if you're aware of it ahead of time, any kind of issues with anybody close to you, like a friend, hopefully you resolve them and work through them during that time. So I do have some love and relationship dates for you. Not too many, but I do have May 29th, August 18th, November 28th. November 28th is actually pretty interesting because this is a time when that can create some issues with a friend or a group. It could also help in resolving some issues, but it's actually going to also affect your commitment and partnership house. So that could easily bring about either building a commitment, working out some issues, or this could be the next chapter of a serious relationship. So definitely keep an eye out on November 28th. I would actually extend that time frame a week before and a week after the date of November 28th. So that's kind of a significant day to keep an eye out for. So right now, I know it feels like I don't have too many dates for you, but throughout the year with the monthly horoscopes, I will be finding more love and relationship dates. Right now, the main concern is going to be that Mars in your 11th house, great social time for you, going out, getting out, meeting new people and so forth, building new connections. But the retrograde cycle is probably the only part to kind of keep an eye out for. Now, as earlier as I was talking about the Venus retrograde, like I said, I do have an article on thepsychicone.com to read about that because it can affect love and relationships for you. But the Mars retrograde, I think, is probably the one that you'll feel the strongest. But like I said, and with the love life, right now the dates of May 29th, August 18th, and especially November 28th to keep an eye out for. I think it's going to be a very active social time for you. I think you're going to be very busy with work and opportunities also with the home. But the big one is actually going to be when Mars kicks in for you later on in the year. So plenty of activity for that. So keep an eye for the monthly horoscopes and the weekly horoscopes where I'll be able to detail more about that throughout the year. Virgo. So it's definitely going to be a very active time for you. Now, first, let me go through the planets and what to expect with the planets currently. Uranus will be in your ninth house all year. Neptune will be in your partnership house all year. Saturn will be in your sixth house of work, service, and health all year. Pluto in your fifth house of love, relationships, children, and creative projects. Now, Jupiter will be in your partnership house through May 9th. Then it will enter your eighth house of joint resources, taxes, credit cards, and loans starting May 10th through October 28th. Then it will return back to your partnership house from October 29th through December 20th. So the eighth house is actually going to be like being able to gain financially through others. This could be taxes, credit card, loans, bonuses, commissions, other financial gains. Sometimes the gains could be through gifts and rewards and benefits. So it could come in that sense. So there's definitely going to be a lot to look forward to at that time. Now, there is going to be some other great opportunities later on in the year. And that is actually going to be now, Mars will be entering your career house starting August 21st, 2022 through March 25th, 2023. And we are going to be having a retrograde in your career house from October 30th through January 12th, 2023. Now, Venus will be entering your fifth house of love, children, and creative projects on November 6th, 2021 through March 6th, 2022. And there will also be a retrograde cycle in the fifth house. So there's a lot that needs to be discussed with that. First, let me go over with the eclipses. Now, there will be a new moon eclipse on April 30th in your ninth house and a full moon eclipse on November 8th in your ninth house. So the ninth house is actually the house of long distance trips, foreign people and places. It's actually also where you broaden your horizons. And if you're looking to go into college or university, this is actually the house for that. Each eclipse lasts 6 months. So this is actually going to be a time that could bring about opportunities for you to enter college, um, maybe study and learn a new topic of interest. Maybe it's for your career. There's also a time, like I said, for travel, maybe learn a new culture or a new language. So it's actually even going to be possibility of having to deal with legal issues or maybe studying and learning about the law. Now, the new moon eclipse on October 25th and the full moon eclipse on May 16th, 15th, 16th will be in your third house of short trips, communication, siblings, and neighbors. So the next 6 months after those dates will bring a time of short trips, an increase of communication through emails, text messages, and phone calls. You may also decide to purchase a vehicle, computer, cell phone, or telephone. This could also bring a time for you to also, again, study and learn a new topic of interest, being open to broadening your horizons. Maybe you find yourself connecting more with family and friends. So it's actually going to be a very good time. The only day maybe to be aware of is May 16th. That eclipse does bring some tension with the sun and Saturn, as it can bring about a time of having to make some more critical decisions. Maybe you have to purchase a vehicle or replace a vehicle or a computer or a cell phone. Maybe you have to be open to other opportunities and possibilities, like I said, to broaden your horizons, be open to new possibilities there, and just trying to see what else can come about there for you. So, great time and great opportunity for you to be open to expand and be open to moving on and connecting and communicating with others. So now it's going to be a time to start focusing on love and relationships and also the dates for that. So when it comes to love and relationships, we have the new moon on January 2nd that will also connect well with Venus, even though Venus will be retrograding at that time. But the energy is also very positive with Uranus. This could bring a love relationship, maybe a baby on the way, spending time with children, connecting with children. It could bring about and open opportunities for you to be social and outgoing, meet someone new. So the energy during that new moon, is looking very good. So the next 2 weeks after that, if you are single and looking to meet someone, that can actually be a really good time for you to meet someone. Now, let me give you a few dates that are looking positive for love and relationships, including January 24th, February 11th, February 16th, February 17th, March 20th, March 21st, April 27th, and April 28th. Also, let me see here. January 24th is looking good around there. So now, a couple things that I did want to point out. Now, Mars will enter your partnership house starting April 14th. So for 7 weeks, there could be some tension and disagreements with a partner or lover. It could also be someone that you are collaborating with, and this could even be a business partner or someone that you are working and collaborating with to build even a business venture. So kind of keep an eye for that. Now, this could bring about disagreements, arguments, separation, divorces, breakups, but that's only if there have been issues previous that during this time leads to that kind of tension. Now, we also are going to have a Venus retrograde from December 19th, 2021 through January 28th, 2022. And that can also be a time of breakups. Yes, it can bring people from the past back into your life. But I feel if there is the possibility that a breakup occurs during this time, there is like a maybe a 5% chance that there will be a reconciliation. So usually a Venus retrograde really is like the icing on top of an ending or putting things to an end. So something to be aware of. Now, everything that I keep getting, at least the energy for during this time, seems to be looking very positive for, you to meet someone new if you are out there dating, but this could also bring about endings and new beginnings, especially with the retrograde cycle. Like I said, Venus retrograde from December 19, 2021 through January 28, 2022. And then with Mars in the partnership house from April 14th through about the end of May. So I would say, if anything, those are maybe the only periods of time that I would be careful of. But all the other dates are really positive for love and relationships, to meet someone new, for dating relationships, maybe even to get married and get engaged. So it's a very social, active time for you, and a great time to build great connections and meet someone new. All right, so when it comes down to your career, now one of the things that I did want to bring up is that we do have that Mars retrograde in your career house. So this can display a few different things for you. Now, the Mars retrograde is actually going to be occurring between October 30th, 2022 through January 12th, 2023. Now, Mars will be in your career house from August 21st through March 25th, 2023. So between October 30th and January 12th, 2023, that's going to be a time that could bring about maybe you decide to change jobs, start a new career path. Maybe you decide to go back to school. So there could be some significant changes there for you. Maybe you get into arguments with clients, customers, employees, coworkers. So maybe that might be something that you may want to be careful of. But this could bring about also maybe pursuing a new business or business venture. Now, for career dates, a significant one is around May 29th, but also keep an eye on the dates of June 11th, July 12th, July 12th and July 13th, July 31st, September 28th. Keep an eye on the dates of July 12th, 12th, 13th, and then also the dates of September 28th. That's actually pretty significant for your career. I know I was saying about the retrograde, but that could bring about some changes, maybe new opportunities, maybe a promotion or advancement. Maybe you decide to start a business venture. Those are two significant dates I would really keep an eye out for. Again, July 12th and September 28th. Now, with that retrograde and with Mars in your career, literally like half the year, that is big. That is big. I mean, even not dealing with the retrograde cycle, I know that could be a little bit concerned, but it's a really big deal because that could bring about opportunities, changes, maybe, like I said, a new business or you take on a new career path or something. So that's something you really want to be aware of. I know with the love life and everything going on, that might have a little concern early on in the year, but your career really peaks when Mars kicks in the 10th house. So really keep an eye. If you're looking to really start something, that's a great time. Like I said, maybe be wary of the retrograde cycle, but after that, and the overall energy of it overall is really, really good. So you got a lot to look forward to with your career. Now, like I was mentioning earlier with the love life and the eclipses, you may feel a little frustrated that you know, some things may create some problems, but everything else, once, like I said, August starts kicking in, your focus is really about career, money, making money, building more financial opportunities for yourself, that really starts to take over for you. And you really start putting more focus and more emphasis on that I think you're going to really be busy and be focused on that. Overall, everything is looking great. I can understand maybe the eclipses might be a little bit of a disappointment, but they're not at all, especially when you have so much energy going on throughout the year and your career is really going to peak and really going to take off. So that's a lot to look forward to. The love life, maybe if you are single and or in a committed relationship, could possibly bring about some challenges. But at least right now, the opportunity that I'm putting out there for you is if there have been some issues or problems, it is time to work them out. If not, that can easily bring about an ending of a relationship or committed relationship. So as long as you're aware of that, everything else you can easily handle with care, with consideration, and be able to move forward.